Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's episode of Futon Talks. I am your host, Christopher Midling, and today, as always, I am joined by the man who's always watching closely, Joshua Castro.
Wow, thank you, Chris. I love that.
Thank you.
Are you watching closely?
As you guys know, we are talking about The Prestige.
I thought it was the Prestige.
The Prestige.
The Prestige?
A movie by Christopher and Jonathan Nolan. Now,
Johnny.
let's just jump right in. 3 words.
Oh, man.
What you got for me?
Oh, man.
As I drop my phone.
I'll say this movie, I don't know. I feel like this movie is important to me for some reason. I don't know why. But it kind of made me feel like we did when we talked about Dunkirk. For no good reason, because that actually has real subject matter.
Yes.
But thinking about this movie is much more meaningful and like real for me. I don't know why. But these are my 3 words. And I'll explain them a bit. One is love. Because I love the way the movie portrays love and the different ways it crops up, but also how lovingly this movie was made. This movie feels just so full of passion, and passion is also such a theme in it. Love and passion, and this is a movie that is very driven, emotionally driven. I don't know how to express it. The second word would be genuine. This movie feels so real to me. It feels like a place, and these people are very fleshed out characters that feel just like real people.
It's genuine because of the love.
Exactly, baby. And then my last word is satisfaction.
Ooh.
But that word could be replaced with prestige, right? It's just that feeling of the dots connecting. And not even just the dots connecting and like understanding what happened, but also the feeling of like the characters being full. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like characters that have some sort of substance, and that substance being revealed. Anyway, so those would be my words: love, genuine, and satisfaction.
I like it.
So if you can't tell, I hate this movie. Okay. But what are your words, my friend?
I started with clever because it actually was a clever story. It was a clever pace. It was just clever overall. It actually made you think, and it's the movie, like the message of the movie, like what it tells you the entire time, is just how the movie was made almost, and how the movie portrays it.
Yeah.
It's because, I mean, I guess I'll just say it right now. In the beginning, they talk about the magician's process, the pledge, the turn, and the prestige. And that is exactly how the movie is played. It's beautiful. Bleak. The world is very bleak, but Christopher Nolan's the way he directed this was pretty bleak. There's certain scenes where you're like, whoa, this is pretty dark. And it just, there's the bleakness, but there's just this heaviness alongside it. And reserved. I felt like this was Christopher's most reserved movie in the sense that he didn't overdo it.
Yes.
Like in many of his other movies.
Is this just before
This is just before, what is this, right before The Dark Knight?
Yes.
So this was like, it feels like this is like his last movie before he, I don't know, starts smelling his own farts. Like
goes off the wall.
He goes crazy.
Starts painting buildings with gasoline.
Yeah.
To make a bat symbol.
Yeah, before he stops making sense. Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
This is a great film.
I'm so happy you agree.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite movies.
I agree.
And here's the thing, guys. I feel like this is a much less seen movie.
I think so too.
Most people don't even know this movie exists.
Because people just think it starts with Batman.
Exactly.
And then it goes up.
People don't realize. But if you haven't seen this movie, go watch this movie.
Please.
It's $3.99. Go rent it. And then go buy a Blu-ray. And then send love letters to Christopher Nolan. It's so good. Go watch it. It's totally worth it. And then watch it again. Because it's even better the second time.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely one of those movies that you guys should see. Don't listen to us ruin it. Go watch it for yourself. And then once you're just thirsty and you need more prestige, then come to us. And we'll be the well that you can get your water from. Okay? It's gonna be a journey for you. And we'll be here every step of the way. But you got to take the first step on your own. Anyways, so that's the pledge. Anyways, so oh my gosh, do you want me to start with a synopsis before we start confusing people?
I just gotta say, if there's any reason to watch this movie, it's to watch Christian Bale play himself and a loving husband.
Wow,
I just gotta say that.
Wow, I
just
love
for that. Yeah, like it had to be so easy for him.
Dude, he wasn't even acting. Those were just shots in his house. He was yelling at his wife. And this is the thing. I have a thing where I tell everybody about how Christian Bale just leaves his mouth open. Okay? It's a thing for me.
Yeah.
5 minutes into this movie, I was watching it with my sister and Cody and my wife and my dad. And my sister was like, he really does just leave his mouth open.
Just agape.
It just flies flying in, flying out. His tongue kind of lolls.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like waiting for the words to come out. Like this.
Rachel.
And he purses his lips just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's almost Matthew McConaughey-esque.
Almost.
But not quite. Anyway.
Not as sexy.
Not as sexy. And this movie reminded me why I love Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Because I think for some reason, I don't know if it's the Burton Batmans. I don't know. I don't know if it's Edward Scissorhands. But I feel like I began to forget that movies could be really good.
Yeah,
you know,
we have been in a lull of just nonsense.
just nonsense movies.
It was a nice change of pace.
And maybe this gets an unfairly positive view from us because of that.
Oh, maybe. No.
I don't think so, though, because when I saw this the first time, I was blown away. I couldn't sleep. I loved it so much. So, but yeah, so this movie reminded me why Christopher Nolan is great, because it reminded me of how I felt when I watched Dunkirk and how I felt when I, watched Inception and when I watched all of his other movies. It just came back to me. Interstellar, I understood. Anyways.
Quickly before your synopsis, was this the
plane.
first time?
This is actually from Dunkirk.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan is flying above our house right now.
Oh, nice. It's a Tenet plane.
Was this the first time you've seen the movie? Or because I saw it once as a kid, and I remember it being like, wow, that was a really good movie. I was a little confused about the time, like we'll talk about that later, of when this movie came out, but I remember it being really good. But then watching it for the podcast, I too was blown away. But like, that was a fantastic movie. I didn't pause it. I didn't do anything. I just kept watching until it was over. You got to hear Michael Caine.
Michael Caine's best role. He actually gets to act in this movie.
Yeah, he has a role.
Yeah. I don't remember what you said.
Or what you asked. The first time you watched this movie?
Oh, yes. I watched it like 6 months ago for some reason. I just happened upon it.
Okay.
Because Grace was there, and I think I was showing her all the Batman movies. And so I saw, there's a Christopher Nolan movie. I've never even heard of it. Because I don't think a lot of people have heard of this movie. Mm-hmm. And we just sat down and watched it. And I was like, no one told me about this? Mm-hmm. Oh, I loved it. I think I told you about it. And then that was half the reason I wanted to do the Christopher Nolan movies. So eventually we could get to this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is my second time, but I was just as entertained this time. It really holds its appeal.
Yes.
And you're right, profoundly not Nolan-esque. I mean, it is in some ways. It gets Nolan-y, but it's not Nolan-y in the way that some people think of him now.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, it was just reserved. It was methodical. It was very, as some would say, in control, mathematically perfect.
That's right, baby.
It's just beautiful shots, beautiful pacing. It doesn't overdo the pacing. even like because it jumps through a bunch of different times, that doesn't get confusing in this movie. And yeah, it's just it doesn't go way out there like Tenet or something, or Inception with its scale.
Yeah,
it's just reserved.
I agree.
But I guess we should just jump into a little synopsis before we start going into spoilers and talking about the actors, because I really want to talk about the cast.
Me too, because they're fantastic. But yeah, I'll give a quick little synopsis. I'll try to not go into detail here, just because we have so much to talk about.
Yes.
But to either remind those who have seen it a while ago, or to let most people in on the basics, if for some reason you're not watching it right now, what happens is this. It's the story of these two rival magicians who wrong each other over and over throughout the film. Essentially, one magician accidentally kills the other magician's wife, and then it's just a story of revenge, which ultimately ends and culminates in great sacrifices for both of them. That's pretty much the story, and it's the story of like one's commitment to their art and what that requires of you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that really qualifies as a synopsis.
No, that is like a perfect like setting, like a summary almost of.
Everything
like,
else is secondary, right?
Like this is the cautionary tale that's telling. Everything else is additive.
Exactly. It's a lot about like dualism and like the split life and what love is. Anyways, it's fascinating. But pretty much that's what happens. I don't want to give too much away. Because
if
they've seen it, they'll understand, and if they haven't seen it, they don't deserve to understand. That's how
true.
I feel.
You guys just have to go watch the movie, but I love. It's like something that I took away from it. I think obviously everyone will take away from it is you're watching one person who is in love with the prestige part. He loves being the showman. He loves seeing the faces. You know, he loves what he gets out of it. The other one loves the sacrifice it takes to make it happen.
Yeah, he loves the art itself.
Yeah. He wants to be the best there is. He wants to come up with the best trick or illusion to fool people, while the other one is very comfortable just doing the same trick just to get the same reaction. Almost. He doesn't push the boundaries. But should we just go into cast, really?
Yeah, let's go into the cast.
I just gotta say, this is the most refreshing cast Nolan has had. You got Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale, Scarlett Johansson, Michael Caine, Andy Serkis, David Bowie,
Rebecca Hall.
Just what a fantastic cast.
Everyone's perfect.
Yeah, they are.
No one makes a single mistake.
I know. There's no one's wearing a mask ever.
There's zero masks. You can hear everything they're saying. Can I tell you something, by the way?
Yeah.
Rebecca Hall. Is she Aspen? They look the same.
They don't.
Dude, okay, let me show you this picture.
Okay.
Everyone last night was like, she looks just like Aspen.
I mean, not in this movie because she has curly red hair.
Well, yeah, like, other than the hair. She looks just like her, dude. But I could see it anyway. I could see it, like, her eyes. I was like, that's Aspen. She has the same nose. Look at this picture.
Wow, you're right.
That looks just like Aspen, right?
Not just, but yeah, she looks very similar.
It's really, like, the eyes, the eyebrows, the hair.
Yeah.
She
loses it in the jaw area.
Yeah, like, I'm telling you, it's like, here up.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Eerie. The whole time I was like, that's Aspen. Like, the whole movie. I was like, that's Chris's wife. What's going on? Anyway. Scarlett Johansson looks weird in this movie. But she does a great job.
Yeah, she does a good job.
She looks appropriate.
It's it is weird seeing Scarlett Johansson before Marvel.
It's weird seeing any of these actors because none of them were as big. They all get so much bigger.
He was pretty big with X-Men.
Hugh?
Wait, when did? Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, they were like 2001, I think, was the first one.
So I mean, he was.
But that's like still like, like what, you're a superhero before superheroes were important.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Bale had American Psycho.
That's true.
But this is before like they get into their real prime,
huge careers,
or not even prime, just their stardom.
Because Hugh Jackman is a star now.
Yeah.
And Christian Bale, if it weren't for the domestic abuse, would be a star now.
Yeah.
And he still is in a way. I mean, he's in some fantastic movies.
The Batman, he does interesting roles still.
He was great in Ford versus Ferrari. That movie's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in The Fighter. What's the other one? The Machinist?
Yeah.
It's a great one.
I agree.
But yeah.
What a great cast.
Who are you rooting for?
Dude, I think that's part of the magic of this movie, is that part of the way I'm rooting for... I'd say for the first half of the movie, I'm really rooting for Jackman.
Mm-hmm.
And Angier is his name, Robert Angier.
The Great Danton.
The Great Danton.
Or Danton, as Christian says.
Yes. And then, for the other half of the movie, I'm really rooting for... what's his name?
Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Oh, his name is Bolton?
Bolton. Alfred? Yeah, because she calls him Freddy. Alfred Borden.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. It's interesting how that happens. And you almost don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people, that's the arc. But what did you feel?
I was mostly rooting for Christian.
Interesting.
Throughout the entire movie.
But he wrongs him.
But yeah, that could be a thing because...
Maybe it's because you've seen the movie.
I've seen the movie, but I saw the movie a really long time ago, when it first came out on DVD. Yes, I don't know. I think I just respected him more because he wanted to push the boundaries. Even though he made a dumb mistake, she was okay with it.
Yeah.
So it's not technically all his fault. Really, she agreed to try this new knot during the tank scene. So I kind of felt bad that he was immediately shunned from everyone.
Yeah,
even
I understand.
Though he did technically.
Yeah, he killed her a little bit.
His hand was in the murder of her, yeah. Or in this accident. But yeah, I rooted for Christian pretty much the whole time, and it's very satisfying at the end.
It is.
The whole thing is satisfying.
Yeah,
because
everything about it.
Once you realize that with the different time skips, Christian Bale's character is reading the diary of Hugh Jackman while Hugh Jackman's reading his diary. Mm-hmm. And it's just how they're tricking each other with the diaries. It's just
how'd they pull this off? They both pull a tricky on each other in a diary.
It's beautiful, yeah. They both talk to them at the end of each diary, I know you're reading this in your prison cell.
This is very Shyamalan-esque.
A little bit, yeah. There's a lot of twists.
But he really pulls it off. There's 5 pointing at the other guy Spider-Man twists in this movie.
Yeah, there is.
But it's so satisfying.
Uh-huh.
But you're right. I think there's something about Christian Bale's character that is so earnest and so committed. Whereas for Hugh Jackman, it's a show. But for him, it's not. It's life.
Yeah.
And I think that is very attractive about him. What perfect casting, by the way.
Yeah.
Because Christian Bale just looks kind of scummy and ugly. And then Hugh Jackman is so incredibly handsome and charismatic.
Yeah.
They're perfect for their roles.
What's the deal with Christian Bale's accent in this?
Oi, what you doing over there, mister?
It's he's British.
He's Cockney.
He doesn't do a very good accent.
What are you talking about? I got my rebel boy here.
And he laughs weird.
Yeah, he does. My favorite scene is the one where he's being mean to his wife in the restaurant.
Oh.
Freddie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just trying to celebrate.
Oh, that was a really good one.
Thank you.
It's very breathy.
Yeah.
Is that Batman?
Maybe. He was still practicing.
Dude.
Yeah, it was just it caught me off guard, but then you get used to it or whatever.
Maybe that's as close as we get to Christopher Nolan and his movies being ununderstandable. It'd be pretty hard to understand that accent at times.
Yeah.
I'm glad I had subtitles.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I could have understood him the entire time.
Maybe not.
But oh my gosh. I love this movie.
Yeah.
I just love it so much.
But yeah, Michael Caine's character. He has a pivotal role.
For once.
In this entire movie. He starts the movie and he ends the movie.
Mm-hmm.
he talks about the pledge.
Ooh, yeah. Michael Caine.
He's in the room.
Didn't know he was coming on the podcast.
I didn't know he was still alive.
I love Futon talks.
I know, it's nice seeing Michael Caine young.
Still like 90 in this movie.
But he doesn't look like
he still
decrepit.
Hobbles. I mean,
but yeah, he had such a great role in this, and I felt like his character was almost the audience in a way.
Yeah.
Because he sides with Hugh's character for the longest time, but then he realizes that he's pulling the wrong kind of tricks to get his way, almost, and he is he's playing dirty.
Yeah.
To the point where Kane's character Cutter has to he sides with Alfred in the end. Kind of helps him. He does the right thing. He's like, this guy wants to be with his daughter, and you're keeping his daughter away from him out of spite.
Mm-hmm. And you're trying to murder him.
And you framed him for murdering someone that you murder.
For actually killing somebody.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's just
Hugh Jackman goes off the rails.
Yeah.
Granted, so does Alfred. If you think about it, Alfred's a pretty awful person.
Yeah, I mean,
considering what he does to his wife.
Yeah. Well, that's not Alfred.
It is half the time.
But isn't half the time him being loving, and then the other half it's the brother who's negligent?
But I mean, like, he put her in this. Why wouldn't
so,
he just always himself?
Hey, he apologized at the end.
That's right. He said he's sorry
after she died.
After she's already dead.
But yeah. Do you want to talk about Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, I think she just does a great job. I don't think she's necessarily a standout.
She's convincing.
I think
Very convincing.
Yeah, she really, really does it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, her role is to distract.
Yes, and she does distract
the movie and the audience.
Exactly.
So, I'm trying to think like...
I think we should talk... Well, how about this?
Should we talk about the tricks?
Yes.
Okay.
I was just thinking that.
Okay.
They're awesome.
They are awesome.
I also really love that one of the big themes of the movie is that the trick isn't good if you know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think it's fascinating that Hugh Jackman, the magician, is the one that can't accept that.
Yeah.
He can't accept that the trick is just a trick. The whole time, he's just using a body double. Mm-hmm. You know? The whole time. That's all he's doing. He's just sacrificing his life for the trick, but it's a trick. It's just a body double.
Yeah, there's so much foreshadowing in this movie.
Oh,
it's great. It's like a really good amount. And one of the best parts is Alfred admiring the Chinese magician. Mm-hmm. His life is the trick.
Exactly.
And he has to always live the trick, or else people will find out that he's not really Chinese.
Yes. And he's not a cripple.
Yeah, he's not an old man. And that just goes back to Alfred's character is he's living a double life.
He's making half a life.
He's actually kind of living a quadruple life.
4 parts of one life.
Because him and his brother constantly are switching places.
Mm-hmm.
His brother's name is Fallon?
That's what they call him.
Yeah, but you don't really know what his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Could just be Alfred.
What's really impressive is that you see these men in disguises throughout the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know that Fallon is
you don't see
Christian
it.
Bale. You don't see it.
Yeah, because I was looking on like IMDb looking for the cast and like looking for Fallon. I was like, it was just Christian Bale in makeup.
Isn't that crazy?
He looked nothing like Christian Bale.
They did a really good job.
Yeah. The Hugh Jackman one's a little silly.
Yeah.
They make his make his top lip go out like a beak almost. But yeah, I liked the idea of it not being magic. Mm-hmm. Like it can all be explained. You find out how everything works. I like the behind the scenes of the tricks and how they're just machines pretty much, or contraptions, or
it's what you would think it was.
Easy stuff. Like with the water tank, she picks Christian, or she picks Alfred and what's his name? Angier.
Robert.
Every time. Even though the audience doesn't know that.
Yeah, they're just plants.
They're just plants. And I like how Michael Caine always has the axe ready in case she drowns. She does.
Good job.
And yeah, it's just it's so simple. Like Alfred's wife says in the movie, it's so simple once you know. Like, oh, of course it's that. And it really gets to Alfred.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, that's the point.
He hates that about them. No, I love it. I love how simple everything is. Except for Hugh Jackman, who makes a copying machine.
Yes.
Which we should talk about that and the implications of his actions.
I agree.
So, a little background. David Bowie is Tesla, and he's awesome.
He is awesome.
Also, David Bowie, if he weren't dead, could play a really good Hitler. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He looked a little Hitler-y.
A little bit.
Oh, a little Adolf-y. But he goes to Tesla because of a string of events, right? Pretty much, Alfred Brody, Christian, we'll just call him Christian Bale.
He tricked him, right?
Exactly. He gave him a cipher. It was a whole thing, and it's wild. What a great sequence of scenes. But he eventually tricks him to go to Tesla, pretending that Tesla built him a machine that made the trick that is the basis of the whole movie, The Transported Man, possible, where Bale would go into one door and then immediately come out of another door across the stage. It was actually a body double, which we know because it's Fallon and him. Anyways, but Hugh Jackman can't accept that. So he falls for the trap that he goes to Tesla to make a machine that would actually teleport him across the stage. Yeah. But he goes to Tesla, and Tesla makes him this machine which kind of copies the thing that's inside of it and puts it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And this leads to my favorite line in the movie.
Please.
Robert Angier is leaving, or Hugh Jackman is leaving Tesla's house. Oh my gosh, there's Aspen. Sorry. And he tells Angier, "Don't forget your hat." Angier says, "Which one is my hat?" And Tesla says, "They're all your hat." And that is like, it's defining the rest of the movie. So they make these copies, and then there's just two of them, and they're both you.
Yeah.
Or are they? Which one is you? Are you either of them? Are neither of them you? What's interesting, though, is that you see that assuming that the guy who stays on the platform is Hugh Jackman, assuming that he kills the double that he copies with the
every
gun.
time.
But here's the thing. The ones that are in the tanks are the ones that are being copied. So no matter what, the original Hugh Jackman's dead.
That's crazy.
I know. And that's the whole point, is it's not about how complicated the trick is. It's about the sacrifice. They both sacrifice the same thing. They both sacrifice their lives for the trick, for their art. And even though Nikola Tesla's machine seems more mystical, in reality it's the same thing. Both of them are sacrificing their life for the transported man.
Yeah.
And I think that's like so powerful. It's like, dang. It's not even mystical. It's just real. You're just letting go. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's at that point, what do you get out of it if you don't even get to see what happens? Which is also like no one cares about the man in the box. Yeah, that's the whole point of the movie. But yeah, the clone always gets to see the crowd.
Yeah, just like with the body double.
Yeah,
it's fascinating.
I loved. This is a good segue, I think. I love so after Robert's wife is killed, they go their separate ways and they start their own acts.
Yeah.
Because they first were working for another magician who was doing the wire tank. And I love the rivalry. Yes. And I love how they keep sabotaging each other's acts. Like, Hugh starts it. Like, Hugh shoots Christian's fingers off.
And he was going to kill him.
Yeah, he was going to kill him. It's kind of crazy that he would go so far. Like, his first act of retaliation is kill him.
I understand.
Like, you understand?
I feel like I get it.
Yeah, like
you killed my wife, and you don't even like. I think the big thing is too that he, in Hugh's eyes, he's refusing to take responsibility because he's saying he doesn't know the knot. You know?
Which
I think is a great plot point. It's like, because I feel like I can understand.
But
I don't even know. I have replayed it a million times.
He doesn't know the knot because it's the brother, right?
I think so.
That's because he literally doesn't know the knot because he didn't do it.
Wow.
It's great.
It's fabulous.
So good. They're blaming each other, and he doesn't he's blaming the same person to him, but it's a different person every time. So good.
Wow.
I don't know. Like, if let's say
if I just like killed your wife
on accident.
Yeah, but like it's not. I don't think it's the way of the killing. I think it's the lack of taking responsibility.
Okay.
I think that's why he's so angry. I think if he just said, "I'm so sorry, I tied the wrong knot. I was a fool," I think Hugh Jackman wouldn't have killed him.
He did say sorry though. He went to the memorial.
But he said sorry, like, "I'm sorry that happened to you. Like, I'm sorry your mail didn't come early." Like,
yeah, you're right.
But he's not taking responsibility, you know, which is what Hugh Jackman wants. Because in Hugh Jackman's eyes, he did kill her.
Yeah,
he told him, "Do not use the knot. It's dangerous." And then he's like, "I'm gonna use the knot." And then he did it, and he killed her.
Yeah,
but I do understand though. I think that's why it's so compelling though, is because it's in the middle.
Yeah,
it could go either way.
You're right. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
And then it really can't, because then Hugh Jackman is a mass murderer.
He goes insane. And then there's a scene where Hugh has. Are you okay?
I'm just contemplating the Giants. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was just really feeling it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Hugh, he has a new stagehand, which is Scarlett Johansson, who's just replaced his wife.
Yeah.
And she knows it.
She loves it.
And they have a new trick. Cutter has his engineer made this trick where you get two people from the crowd, and you put a bird in a cage, and when you go like this, the bird is somehow safe. I don't understand the word. I
don't know. I feel like the bird just flies, and because the cage is two parts, right? They just go in his sleeves.
Yeah, they go into his sleeves, and it goes like on his back. Maybe. Oh, he doesn't have the handkerchief on top, or he's holding the handkerchief so he can grab the bird.
Dude, I have no idea.
I don't know. I was a little lost on like how that contraption works, but you're just supposed to. Bird disappears, cage disappears, and then you have the bird in your hand.
And the cage goes, like contracts and goes up his sleeves,
almost like Assassin's Creed blades.
It is.
But then it's a beautiful part where Alfred gets picked. He's in makeup, he has a beard and everything, but this is after his fingers have been shot. So he goes up there and he puts his hand on top of the cage to show that he's missing two fingers. And he rips the cage so that it snaps and breaks the lady's fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And the bird dies. And that was like, oh my gosh. That's crazy.
It's fabulous.
It's somehow more insane than Hugh going and shooting him.
Yeah. I think it is. Like the look in Christian Bale's eyes.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to ruin your career right now.
Yeah. It's like, dang, dude. Dang. It was crazy.
It's so good.
I also kind of like the idea that Hugh Jackman took his fingers and then he takes the lady's fingers in a way.
Yeah.
It's like interesting. There's a lot of motifs that repeat over and over. Like the bird's dying. I mean, the bird dying in the cage and then a copy coming out. I mean, that's Hugh Jackman.
Exactly.
That is literally the first thing you see.
Yeah, the bird being killed for another bird to be there.
That is like the end of the movie is the beginning of the movie. It's amazing.
It's so incredible. I love this movie so much.
I know. Should we just jump really quickly to where this ranks?
Oh, do we? Or should we wait until we're done with the movies?
I think we've done it for every other one.
Have we?
Because we're impatient.
Oh, this is by far the top.
For me, it's my favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
Like, bar
Hands
none,
down.
easy. And not even just because it's a spectacle. Because this is a fast one I had. But tell me, is this movie a cheap thrill? Or is it actually magical?
It's magical.
I think it is too. I think people might see the twists and call it cheap.
There's no gimmick in this. It's genuine.
It's pure. It's just so good.
It's like a masterclass in film.
You know why Chris did it? Just to see the look on our faces.
That's right.
Right?
Because that's the whole point of the movie.
Oh, this movie, it might be perfect.
I think it is perfect.
It could not be better. Because sometimes we have questions like, who should be recast? What's a modern retelling? I don't want this movie to ever be touched.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's prestige.
They should take it, burn it onto a Blu-ray, take the Declaration of Independence, burn it, put it right there.
Mm-hmm.
That should be everything.
I agree.
This belongs in a museum.
Shut up. It does though. It's 10 years from now, I'm still gonna look back on this movie as like just amazing.
It is substantive, and I think people wouldn't maybe realize that. They think it's just a fun movie, but I think of all Christopher Nolan's movies, this is the most substantive.
Mm-hmm.
It really has a lot to say.
And it doesn't say it just shows you.
Exactly. It's very profound.
Yeah. Very poignant.
Poignant.
This
movie very much affected me.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
me too. I agree it affected you.
Yeah, I could see that.
I guess, should we talk about, we can just jump to the end where the revelation of Christian has a brother.
Yes.
Because, and I'm sorry for anyone that I'm confusing by saying Alfred, Christian, Hugh, and
just saying
Robert.
Last name, first name.
Yeah.
Last name of the actor, first name of the actor.
In the beginning of the rivalry, when Hugh Jackman sees the most beautiful trick, the transported man, he's just obsessed with it. He's like trying to figure out like how does he do it.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be as simple as a body double like Cutter suggests, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's how simple it is. He just has a brother that he puts in makeup, or he doesn't even have to put him in makeup
because he's his brother.
Yeah. And how another thing with Christian living the trick, he cuts his own brother's fingers off.
I know. And I love that moment. She's like, how is it still bleeding? Like, it's like it happened yesterday.
Oh, so good. But with the revelation of Fallon is letting Alfred say goodbye to his daughter for the last time, even though it's not his daughter, because Fallon is her dad.
I know.
And it's just crazy because Christian is being dragged away. He's like, I'm sorry about your wife. I forgot her name.
Sarah.
Yeah, go live for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess you live for both of us now.
Yeah.
And he like bounces the ball,
oh.
signifying the transported man. And he catches it, and you realize he's wearing the gloves that everyone was like, that Scarlett Johansson was saying, just take off your gloves so people know.
And then he does.
And then Christian Bale gets his final revenge on Hugh Jackman. He goes and he sees all the terrible things that he's done. All of the water tanks still filled with Hugh Jackmans.
I know, like, what were you doing, bro? Like, empty those.
Get rid of them. Yeah, that was a little confusing. Like, it turned really sadistic and dark. Really
the imagery
fast.
Is very cool.
Yeah, it is.
But it's a little ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah, it's a little much.
I guess where would you put him, though? Like, if you think about it.
I guess.
Like, this is also the 1800s. Like, CPR isn't even a thing. I don't mean, like, you should revive the Hugh Jackmans. I mean, like, what do you do with these bodies? You don't have hydrochloric acid.
Is it 1910 or 1890?
Oh, it's like 1890.
Okay.
It's like forever ago.
Because I knew it was like 10 years from 1900, but I didn't know where.
Because they'd identify all the Hugh Jackmans.
Yeah.
You just have the Great Danton's body, like, just showing up over and over. They kind of just have to hide him and hope no one finds the cellar.
Yeah, just take his face off.
Yeah, just peel that thing.
Mm-hmm. But he reveals to Hugh that it was just a brother. And I love... It's kind of funny because, like, when Hugh Jackman gets shot, you think he just dies, but he has like a second wind and starts like giving a monologue.
Yeah, he like explains everything. I love it.
It was funny, but it was great. And I gotta say, the acting is beautiful, but there were genuine tears. Like, I have never seen such convincing crying. They're crying out of their noses.
It's very good.
So good.
This scene is one of the best scenes.
It's fabulous. He explains that he didn't really care about the trick. He just cared about people's faces. He cared about the crowd and being that perfect showman.
The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman, starring Hugh Jackman. But yeah, how did you feel about the ending of the movie? I have a particular, not problem, but something I was hoping would be the ending and how it was shot. But how do you feel about the ending of the movie?
I love that if you really think about it, neither of them make it to the end.
Yeah.
Because, and it's interesting too, that Christian Bale dies like his wife.
Yeah.
And Hugh Jackman dies like his wife.
So, yes.
Isn't that interesting?
But Alfred isn't hung. It's his brother is being hung.
Yeah, it's Fallon.
Okay.
Or is it?
It's Fallon because that's his daughter.
But this is the thing. I think it has to be the real guy.
Oh, you're right, because he's like saying goodbye to his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I think it's the real guy, and I think the reason you know is because they die like their wives.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of a signal.
Such a good point.
This movie's freaking perfect, dude.
Yeah, it really is. But there's one particular scene where I think the last minute, I think, is where the movie could have changed. There's a beautiful scene where Cutter is now has custody over the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
What was her name again? Jess?
I have no idea what
I forgot
it was.
I forgot the daughter's name. And then this is right after you find out that Alfred had a brother and he just killed Robert Angier. And there's a part where you watch Cutter showing the magic trick to the daughter, like from the beginning of the movie,
mm-hmm.
and you see the silhouette move in. I could have been fine with that's the end.
Yeah, not show who it is.
Not show who it is. Even, yeah, because obviously you know. And then they kind of go a few scenes later. I forgot exactly what it was. It could have been just either are you watching closely? It shows the hats and the cats again.
Cats and the cats.
But I think it would have been a stronger, more emotional ending if he just walked in and it just ended. Like, go to black.
I think that'd be good.
And then that credit song is terrible.
Dude, I said the same thing.
I was like, this is the worst song you could have possibly ended the movie on.
And it's super abrupt. It's like, it almost cuts into the score.
Yeah.
Like the score is on its final note, and then it's just like a
and
random
the score is
pop
good.
song.
The score is good.
It is. It was the weirdest thing. I thought the same thing I said. I was like, what's the deal with this song?
Terrible, terrible song. It kills like the entire emotional prestige of the movie.
It totally does, dude. That's so funny. I'm so glad you thought the same thing. I was like, what's the deal with this? What's going on?
Yeah, it was awful.
Hilarious. Come on, Chris. Come on, Christopher. What are you doing? That was probably Jonathan Nolan.
Yeah,
it's probably John's band.
Or he's taking like his he took his kid's iPod Nano. I was like, we'll just use whatever's on this.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's just a random song. I don't know what was going on. Just let the score play. Why did you need a song?
Yeah, let it build up and then it just like crescendos and then it just let it go through the credits.
Or just complete silence. Because the beginning of this movie is so silent that we thought our speaker wasn't working.
It is really quiet.
It's like nothing. until the hats are like almost off the screen. Mm-hmm. And then you hear Hugh Jackman whisper in your ear.
Yeah.
Are you watching closely?
Or that's Christian.
Is it really? I have no idea.
Because that's what he keeps saying, right? He tells the guard. Oh, they both say it?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you're right. I also gotta say another great line is when Alfred's about to be hung He's like, any last words? And he says abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
So good.
I laugh though every time it
I was
happens.
like, heck yeah.
Abracadabra. Dude.
Abracadabra.
I think one of my favorite interaction in this movie is between Fallon, which is the brother, Christian Bale, which is also Fallon. Okay, look, the two Christian Bales and the wife.
Yeah.
And as she knows some days he loves her and some days he doesn't. Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, I just love
because you know it's a different person every time she says it.
Like every time they're together, it's amazing.
Yeah,
she's so awesome. I think she doesn't get enough credit.
You're right.
Just the dynamic of his family. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so good.
I gotta say he hung around. Sorry, he lingered on the shot where she was being hung for a while.
I think that's a great scene. I love like the birds flying out of the cage and then she hangs herself.
Yeah,
it's like perfect.
It's awesome.
She's escaping in a really horrible, sad way.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Oh my gosh, because what he was doing to her is pretty unforgivable.
Yeah, he was like tormenting her.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And just you get to have half a partner.
Mm-hmm. Because the other half is in love with another person.
Yeah, and you don't know, but she does know.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know what's worse, knowing or not knowing. Because can you imagine marrying someone and realizing they're doing that?
Mm-hmm. It's a perfect analogy for infidelity and cheating, and it's awesome.
I love infidelity.
I love it.
I love
no, but
it.
it's like it's such a cautionary version of cheating and stuff.
It's
without
so
saying like you're cheating on me.
I know,
because she never says that. She just says what's going on with the girl or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, what's I have her name.
She's nothing to me.
Olivia is nothing to me.
Wow, you really are Christian Bale.
Chris is in the name.
That is really good. And you use a Baylor.
Hey.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
I've been using the word fabulous a lot lately. As in this morning.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened. I've
fun.
said it like 7. This is the 7th time I said fabulous.
We all get into those little I don't know, patterns where we use certain words more often than we usually do.
Little word ruts, as it were.
Yeah, little word ruts. I like that. There'd be a time where I was using hyperbolic for a long time.
I remember there was a time when you said, what's that word? Colin Moriarty says it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's not pedantic. It's,
pretentious?
No, it's like worse. It's like a really pretentious word. What is it? Oh, I can't remember. I'll
Starts
remember.
with a P, though?
Mm-hmm.
Starts with a P?
I don't think so. It'll come to me.
Oh,
It sounds weird, too. It's like a weird way to say a word.
It's not prerogative.
No. What is it?
Nah, it's okay.
I'll remember.
Okay,
Just keep talking. We gotta think.
Oh, you gotta think.
I need this.
I'm pretty much ready for fast ones.
I'm ready for fast ones.
Okay.
You go ahead. Or actually, I have some long form fast ones.
I mean, most of mine are kind of long form.
All right, you go first then, and I'll pick up
the shorter. So you want to go first, or you want the short ones first?
Oh, let me see. We might have just answered a bunch of mine, just kind of by accident, you know. Mm-hmm. I've got some long ones too. Let's start with mine.
Okay.
I'll go to you. Do you feel divided like two people living half lives?
Do I?
Like, I'm sure we don't, but it's an interesting topic to talk about. Like, what's it like to be divided? Is that inevitable?
I mean, people change. But no, I don't feel like I'm living a double life. But I could feel that because, like, maybe I do, because I talk to you very differently than I would talk to even Aspen or Jarrett. Talking to my parents, talking to people at work, completely different. Mm-hmm. I use different senses of humor even. Yeah. It's weird.
It's like a different mode.
Yeah, and it does feel like I'm putting on a show for other people. Mm-hmm. I'm acting in a way that will appease them. Yeah. So maybe I do feel that way.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I understand that, And
it's like there's certain things I would say to you, I would
Never
never
say
say
to
to
anyone
someone
else.
at work or say to someone from church or.
We're lucky that the government doesn't have our voice chats
Yeah.
when we play Battlefield.
Byron isn't listening to me.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. But it is interesting.
It's a very good question.
And I think most people would, if they
feel like-
really thought about it, answer in the affirmative.
I think so too. In one way or another, you are playing someone else.
I think it's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's even really bad, you know? I think it can be.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, you can take it too far. And I've known people to take it too far.
I know a guy that cloned himself and then shot his clone.
Like, I've heard stories of work from people who, would be married, but then when they got to work, they'd be flirting with other women and cheating. And it's just that this is, it's taking it way too far.
Oh, what's the line in the movie? Man's reach exceeds his grasp, like his ability, pretty much. And that's totally the theme, right?
So good.
Oh my gosh, it's like we're biting off more than we can chew. In a really lame way of saying it, but people try to do that. Man's.
Thank you, David Bowie.
Oh, David Bowie, thank you. Wow, why didn't they end with a David Bowie song?
Dude,
He was in the movie.
they could have easily done it.
I mean, that would have been better than whatever the heck we got.
Yeah, they could have done like Starman or something.
What a bummer. But yeah, I like that.
That was very good. I like it.
Let me ask you, what does this movie get about the dualism of man and the double life that Batman doesn't? Because interestingly, this has like a lot of the same themes as Batman. But Batman does
he
not
is playing
execute.
the same character.
Yeah, they're like, and it is Christian Bale. It's like really similar. So what does this movie get right? And I have an answer, but I want to hear what you have to say.
I have to think about it for a little bit, because I think this is more nuanced. While Batman's like, you put on a mask, you're somebody else. But you don't know, like with Batman, you don't know if the mask is your face, and then when you take the mask off, that's when you put the mask on.
Yeah.
And
And the same with this movie.
yeah. I don't know, like, I feel like just more care was put into it's. I think it's the same thing, but more care and passion was put into the Prestige, and more level of nuance than with Batman.
I think you're right.
I think because this is more delicate than a superhero movie.
Which I think is part of the reason is because it's more honest, right? Because it's so delicate. It shows that. It's more realistic.
Yeah. But tell me, what would be your answer?
I think my answer would be the sacrifice. You know?
Oh, that's good, because Batman doesn't sacrifice anything. He actually gets people killed.
Exactly. He never really loses anything. Even in the gritty Nolan ones. I mean, it's not the same.
He loses Rachel, who was never his to begin with.
Exactly. It's oh my gosh. It's in this movie you see that when you like succumb to the dualism, when you try to be two people, when you fully commit to two things, it shows the sacrifice which is necessary. But Batman doesn't really have that. The worst thing that happens to Batman is he doesn't get to be with the girl. Mm-hmm. But what I think is different about these guys
and that's
is
only for 2 movies.
Exactly. And he looks past it in this movie. They accept it. They accept the sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, even in the worst of times, like talking to his wife, he's like, I can't stop. I can't let the cat out of the bag, you know? Mm-hmm. Is that the phrase?
I can't let the cat out of the bag. I can't let the cat out of the hat.
That sounds like a crazy phrase, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's said, right?
Dude, there's so many crazy phrases. You know what I was thinking about phrase-wise? Screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
What
a bizarre.
What happened? How did this occur? Did some guy
because you're
violate
obviously
a dog?
doing something wrong.
I mean, that is wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, you just completely ruined it.
You know, if I was a mother and my kid violated a dog and I said, he screwed the pooch, I would immediately know it was wrong. So maybe that is where it comes from, and they just started saying it.
Yeah.
You know, Dami, you really screwed the pooch. Again? No, different this time.
No, not for real.
Not for real. He dropped a Costa. Wow. Anyway,
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just thinking about that. Who puts cats in bags?
Yeah.
What are they doing with this cat?
Yeah, it's weird.
Wow. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
that was
you.
fabulous. Darn it. Fabulous again. That's how you know I'm actually me.
Mm-hmm.
My double doesn't say fabulous. Oh, and then I asked the movie thing whether it's a cheap thrill or not. I said, your wife looks like Sarah. Both men die like their wives. Oh, we had a write-in. Technically. No. Not really. Cody asked me a question last night.
That counts.
That counts.
He's a patron.
And he said, who in this movie is likable? Or are they all just scumbags? As the credits rolled.
Likable. Like,
essentially, they're all just bad people.
well, Cutter.
Or are they likable?
Cutter's likable.
And that's what he said. He's like, I guess Cutter's likable.
And
hate that
then,
little girl.
I mean, the wife is likable.
Yeah, Sarah's certainly likable.
It's just Christian doesn't like her half the time.
Part of him doesn't.
And then Hugh's wife from the beginning, Julia.
Yeah, Julia. That was her name. How do you remember Julia's name, but you don't remember the main character?
I know, she was only in the movie for like 10 minutes. She was obviously likable.
You liked her.
She was Hugh's world.
That's right.
She was everything.
Oh, and that line is so good when he's like, I don't care about my wife, I care about the secret.
Yep. Oh my gosh. So good.
And that's when Scarlett changes. And,
Yeah, she falls in love with Fallon.
With Freddie.
Freddie, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. This movie's so good.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what I asked you because I got so caught up in the moment.
Who's
of
likable?
understanding. Oh, dude, I think that's what makes this movie good. Is that Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale are so likable.
So, I don't like Hugh's character.
Oh, I think he's super likable.
Like, yeah, he's likable at first, but then like
Then it
he's
changes.
a deeply disturbed person.
Yes.
I think I could still like Alfred, but disagree with what he does.
Exactly.
If that makes any sense. Like, I disagree and don't like Hugh. Because he takes it too far.
I think they
Because
both
he's so
take
obsessed.
it so far.
But like, yeah, they take it farther than any human being would take it.
Hugh Jackman is worse though, objectively.
Yeah.
I mean,
He clones himself and murders people every day.
he's got his clones and freaking
And then
entire
he-
basement of them.
On top of that, takes custody of another man's daughter to spite him.
Yeah.
Just to put her in an orphanage, right?
I don't know. Maybe he was actually going to raise her as his own.
Maybe. I gotta say, are you done with fast ones?
I think so. I have dumb ones, but I want to hear yours.
I like how most Christopher Nolan movies deals with an object, like an object of power.
Yes.
And I like that this one in this movie is like the box. Like, what's in the box? Hey,
Sam, we trusted
you
you.
ruined it. We trusted you.
Sam,
Hey,
I campaigned to keep you in here, Sam. Hi guys, this is Josh editing in post. Sam violated our trust, and so we had to remove him from the premises. So we're gonna have a little bit of a cut here that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we couldn't remember what we were talking about, so Chris went back into fast ones. So just explaining.
sorry. I'm gonna forget what I said and just go into my fast ones.
So that's good. I don't remember what you were saying either.
What would your magician name be?
Dude, I was almost gonna ask you this. I figured you had it covered.
I have mine if you want to think about it.
You think about it first. You tell me.
The Devious Futonicus.
The Devious Futonicus.
Yeah.
I like. Are you Roman themed?
Maybe. No. It's just the name. It just sounded cool.
Ooh, I like that. The Devious Futonicus, or the Great Futon.
The Great Futon. The Great Futon.
Oh, Futon, yes.
And while you're thinking about your name, I want you to think about this as well. And I'm going to answer. What would your trick be?
Oh, like my main big trick?
Your main big trick. You don't have to name the trick. You can if you want. I'll tell you mine. I'll take a lady and make her disappear, but she reappears in a futon.
Like inside of it and you
Inside
cut it
of
open?
it, and she has to cut herself out of it, but she comes out as a naked, sweaty, greased up Danny DeVito from Always Sunny.
Wow.
That's what I'd do to women.
That's so horrifying.
Yeah.
Would the woman actually change into Danny DeVito?
Into Danny DeVito. I would make a Danny DeVito with every woman.
Oh, wow. What would this be called?
Futano DeVito.
Futano DeVito? I thought it was going to be like the greasy lady.
No.
Or something.
Has to stay in in the theme.
I love that. Oh man, I gotta think. I feel like is the thing. As bad as this makes me sound, I think I'm more like evil Hugh Jackman, and I think you're more like evil Christian Bale.
Mm.
Like I see myself in Hugh Jackman in a way.
Oh, I see.
And I see you in Christian Bale in a way.
As an abusive man.
You know, it's out now.
Yeah, you're right.
But I see that a little bit, you know. I feel like your name reflects that. That's very good. But mine would be something very pretentious, something maybe French.
Oh,
And
do tell.
What's the word for? Oh, what's a really pretentious thing in English?
In English?
Yeah. Like what's a pretentious job?
I feel like it has to do something to do with cricket.
Cricket. Ooh.
Or
like, I don't know. What's the most pretentious instrument to play? I feel like a cello is really pretentious.
I don't know. Cellos are pretty cool.
They're cool.
Pretentious.
Violins are really pretentious.
Huh. What's the most? An oboe or an oboe?
Oh, I want to know how do you say oboist? Hey Google. How do you say oboist in French? Oh, why are you so useless? How do you say oboist in French?
In French, that's oboïste.
Oh, say that again.
Turn it up.
Say it again.
Répète ça. Dis-le encore.
Whoa, that was a lie. Okay. Say oboist.
C'était un mensonge.
Stop it. Oboist in French.
This is why we don't trust technology.
Oboïste en français.
Oboiste. That's my name.
I like that.
Le oboiste. And
I would have to say,
stop translating for me.
the great obista.
Wow, that's really good. And we would kill each other.
Yeah.
Well, we'd kill ourselves, and then our doubles would.
Yeah.
Subsequently, you'd kill my double.
What would your double's name be?
My double's name? I'm Le Oboiste, and his name would be. I don't know. Some worse version.
Well, because like it's Alfred and then it's just Fallon.
Oh, I see. What you mean. It would just be Charles.
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 Joshua and Charles.
Be Le Oboiste and Charles. He doesn't
I feel
get a
like
title.
Be Christopher and maybe Gavin. Or Christopher and Pat.
Wow. I like Gavin. I feel like Gavin's a really good magician's name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gavin the Great.
Gavin the Great. And
Or Gavin the Gat.
Gavin
He has
the
a gun.
Gat. Wow. Get out of here.
I like that.
I feel like my trick would involve an oboe, of course. I would...
Obviously.
Obviously. I would play a note, and it would hypnotize my partner from the audience. And I'd have them do various tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, I would do, the transported man. But he would collapse, and all the clothes would just fall to the ground.
Oh. Bah.
And then my clothes would fall to the ground. And then he would appear alone.
Oh, I'm imagining your clothes are just falling off your bodies and you're just naked.
No, it's like the rapture.
Okay.
It's the rapture.
Like, what's going
La
on?
rapture. That's what it would be called.
I like it.
And then we'd appear somewhere.
How could you?
I like that we're just doing these fantasies. Like they're just doing actual tricks. Or is there actually
You can
impossible?
make it somehow sound like overture.
Ooh.
Oboe.
L'oboiste de Obétier.
I like it. Have your fingers shot off or cut off in a controlled environment.
Oh, shoot those babies off.
What if they get infected because they were shot?
What, your chisel's clean?
That's a good point.
I want it to be over.
Yeah.
I want it fast.
Well, I just bite down on a piece of wood
No.
and have me hammer your fingers off.
It's one finger at a time. Isn't that horrible?
That is terrible.
He's got to get to like 2.5 fingers.
I figure I'd just shoot him off. Would you kill your clone?
No.
What would you do with him?
I talked to him.
But what if he like becomes devious and like starts being you?
That's the point. Would I do that? This is the thing. If I wouldn't be devious, then he wouldn't be devious because he's me.
Mm.
You know, like I would.
I guess, yeah, if you're a good-hearted, sincere person, then so will the clone. But with Hugh's character, he's a devious man.
He knows.
He knows what he's going to do.
I guess that's right. Like I feel like I wouldn't. I would just make one clone, never clone another one, and then just be friends with your clone. And then you can just do what Fallon does.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't need to just kill all these clones.
What do you do with a clone? Because a clone doesn't have rights.
Do they? Or are they you? This is the thing. Is it teleporting him and then making a clone in his space? Or is he there and then a clone is being created somewhere else? Because then it's right?
That's a good question. Wow.
Because then which one is real? And that's the point, right? Which one is the real one? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's a really good point.
I am a clone.
You are a clone of your dad.
That is true. We are the same man.
Okay, I like that. I agree. I mean, I don't know
Do
what
clones have rights?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about a clone of me. I feel like I would get sick of me.
I already get sick of me.
Me too.
I hate myself.
Of course I would have a clone. Make him go to work for me.
Wow, this is why your clone would kill you. Your clone is just a slave. I like the idea that your clone, for some reason, would do this. Like, what's in it for your clone? And that's the thing. That's why Fallon and Christian have to do it the way they do. They both get to live half a life.
Yeah.
They have to. Otherwise, one of them will turn on the other.
So good. That's so good. Airtight.
Airtight,
Christian.
dude. Air freaking
Or
tight.
Christopher. Airtight. Which is scarier? Drowning or being hung? Like knowing you're going to be hung or drowning?
Drowning.
I agree.
I hate water. That's why I don't take showers. Just kidding. I
All right, Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's right. I just hate the idea of drowning. I think it would suck so much. I mean, what does Michael Caine say? You die in agony.
Yes. It's like you're going home.
It's like going home. No, it's like agony.
Walk into a Tesla machine every day just to kill your clone, or smash birds for the rest of your life.
You gotta. That's the question. Is essentially, is it worse to kill a bird or a man? I feel like I gotta kill that bird.
A man that, in your perception, isn't real.
But
right?
He is real.
Yeah, he is real, but like, just a clone.
So I'm just a sick man who will just kill people because I don't think they're real.
I would kill the birds.
I'd kill the birds. I feel bad about it.
It has to be so unsanitary.
Oh, like that's your concern.
Well, I guess he uses a towel. So
it is gross because he's got the dead bird in his pocket.
Yeah.
It was back in the day. Everybody had a dead bird in their pocket.
The birds are so trusting.
I like that Christian Bale just admits that they're killing birds to the little boy after like zero questioning.
Yeah, immediately it's like, he's a smart lad.
He's pretty sharp, isn't he? You think this lock can keep me out of your house?
He's like, is he yours? He's like, no. Great.
Perfect.
Perfect.
I'll make one of my own. I think the only slightly bad lines in this movie are at the beginning of him and Sarah's romance when he just says, you think that lock can keep me out of your house? And then he teleports into her house.
And then he laughs like,
and like the implication is that Fallon was already in her house.
You're right.
Because he can't actually
teleport.
So like, why was this dude did he just send him? Like, was this the plan? The plan was to not get allowed inside for tea, to threaten to break in, and then to have one having already broken in be there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I think that's
kind of insane.
Somehow the weirdest sequence in the entire movie.
That's an insane man.
Right? Like, okay, All right, this is a first date. He's breaking into her house and threatening to do so and actually doing it, but she doesn't realize it because it's magic.
But what if she let him in? And then there's just two of them.
That's what I mean. Like, he had to know she would not let him in.
Yeah.
So he's like, I know I'm dangerous, so I'm going to threaten her and then actually do it. And that'll make me seem likable. Take notes, guys. If you want a girlfriend,
Threaten
her, get a body double, and then break into her house and wait for her.
Okay, I got one more for you. Live with a Hugh Jackman that may kill you, and will forever take credit for your ideas. Or live with a Christian Bale who will be somewhat abusive or drunk every other day.
Every other day. Oh my god.
So forever, like, you never know when Hugh might kill you. But every day, if you come up with an idea, he's going to take credit for it and tell everyone. Or have a Christian Bale that might yell and throw something at you every other day.
I'm not going to lie. I like the idea of Hugh because at least there's no lying. You know, like Hugh's just crazy and he might kill me. But like, I don't want to live with this guy who's lying to me.
Yeah.
And it's like only there half the time.
The thought of dying is not as scary as an abusive Christian
Exactly.
Bale.
The abusive Christian Bale pales.
But
in
like every
comparison.
other day, he's wearing like a fake goatee. And he might yell at you.
It's like, why don't you just take it off, Christian? I can't, Sarah.
It's Friday. I'm Friday.
Call me Friday.
It's just for show.
Oh my gosh. Christian Bale, thanks for joining the cast.
Yeah.
That was very good.
I do like the idea of, I mean, I would hate it if someone took credit for all my ideas, but it would be kind of a funny thing, like, because if, let's say you were in the room too, and I had an idea with you, and you could just watch him lie.
He just steals it. There's something about that is funny.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is this
'Cause
guy?
it's not, it's almost a reaction. It's not like genuine.
Yeah.
He's not really taking credit, but it's just like, I'm gonna take that idea.
That's mine now.
Yeah.
I feel like you would be an ingenieur.
An engineer.
An engineer. You're like the idea.
I like
man.
how they spell it with an I.
I know, and like an.
Is that a real word?
It might. I think it's just
Engineer
French.
and engineer?
It's like an Imagineer from Disney.
Yeah.
Wow. Did Disney watch this and get the idea?
Maybe, yeah. I'm just an engineer.
An engineer.
It's not funny to say.
It's amazing.
Where's my engineer?
Where's my engineer?
Where's Fallon? I love the scene where they capture Fallon and he shoots through the casket.
I know.
I was thinking about this when watching the movie. Other Christopher Nolan films are very action packed, but this movie is too. But the action is heavier on a smaller scale. Like, that was a very quick reaction. Like, he gets put in the casket and he just shoots through it.
Yeah.
And even though it doesn't seem like much, it has almost greater implications. Because, like, he almost killed Cutter.
Yeah.
He almost killed his engineer.
I know. Ah,
It's a great scene.
I love it.
But yeah.
It's so good. And the scene where he's in the castle, like you're saying, and the scene where he has to dig him up.
Yeah. Crazy.
Like, I think that's the when Hugh Jackman really does step too far.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's like when he's insane.
Yeah. And I like that he's still in character. He's still yelling Fallon. Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy? Like, at that point, you just yell your real brother's name. He's freaking buried.
You have to think at a certain point, like, because this is what happens with pathological liars. They believe their lies.
They can't discern, like,
They
what is
can't-
the truth anymore.
yeah.
I have no idea.
So that's probably what's happening with him and Fallon, is that he is forever Fallon.
Wow.
What
Oh,
an
guys.
amazing movie.
This movie's a trip. You should watch it.
Do you have any more quick, fast ones before we end it here,
No,
buddy?
you hit all the ones I was going to do. That's perfect. my
Sweet.
friend.
Perfect. Well, we thank you for listening or watching. We love you guys. Please head over to patreon.com/Futon Talks if you feel so generous enough to contribute to this little project. Join the ranks of Cody Stevens, Jonathan Medina, and Emmett Norris.
That's right.
Because, I mean, they're just the coolest guys around. And you could be one of them
Cool cats.
for $1 a month or more.
Any amount. Whatever
Any
you
amount.
like.
That'll just get us closer to making more stickers and doing other cool things. Taking, not this more seriously, but taking more on.
Yeah, and we'd like
Let's say.
to.
We'd love to.
We've got our movie. The Futon Talks movie.
Yes.
I'm going to be played by Christian Bale.
Yes. Who will I be played by?
You'd be played by Hugh Jackman.
Perfect. And I'll be played by Michael Caine.
Dude, we're going to have to do an episode where we talk about the movie we're going to make.
Yeah.
About Futon Talks.
Yeah.
You guys will see.
Sounds good.
It's coming. You're excited.
But yeah. We thank you guys. Don't forget to head over to subscribe, like, and comment. Share with your friends, of course. And that'll be all. That's Futon Talk signing out.
That'll
love
be
you.
all. That'll be all, pig. Adios.
Adios. Bye-bye.
You remember Babe?
Babe?
Yeah.
Like the pig?
Yeah. He says that in the movie. That's how he ends. He's like, that'll be all, pig.